morning. Welcome to my first video featuring my voice. If you're wondering, yes, I'm actually eating a pickle while recording this video. If you have misophonia, I'm very sorry. First off, I just want to say, I'm sorry my voice sounds so terrible. I just sound like I'm perpetually joking or something, or I have like a frog stuck up my nose. But I hope you guys can manage and deal with it. This is my voice, and we're kind of stuck with it. So, I'm animating a Wings of Fire scene, but before I get into the juicy details of my struggle with this project, I have some epic announcements for you guys. I'm guessing maybe a few of my 24 subscribers are wondering, why is this not the first episode of Dragonlight? Don't get me wrong, I started it, but as soon as I got to the first speaking part, pretty early on, I know, I realized two very important things. One, I was going to need some practice for this whole lip sync thing, and two, this was going to take a little bit more time than I thought. So, for practice, I chose a fun scene from Wings of Fire and animated it. While I did this, I planned out what I'm going to do with this channel. So here's what's up. I'm in no way giving up on Dragonlight, but as I animate it, I'll work on easier, but just as fun videos, so every few videos will hopefully be a new episode. As of now, these in-between videos are still a work in progress, as in I don't know what they'll be exactly, but I'm going to test out a few ideas and see what people like, since I think all of them will be epic. I'll share a few of my ideas with you now. So what I have so far is drawing challenges, obviously more animations, but they'd probably be shorter. Maybe something funny where I just talk, or a short story. I might also do some drawing time lapses or how-tos. Pretty much it's going to relate with art or animation, just I'm not exactly sure the specifics yet. Of course, these are just ideas, and what pops up in my head next is anyone's guess for a little while. If you guys have any ideas, I'm all up for hearing them. Just comment them below. Really, I'm happy to hear anything. Finally, back to Dragonlight. As I was doing this project, I finalized the storyline for the cartoon. And I have decided to add in people! Like humans! The backstory to this decision, if that's what you want to call it, was that I wasn't going to because my people kind of look like monsters when I draw them, but I realized that I do have to start somewhere, and drawing them hundreds of times in slightly different positions does have a tendency to help with that. So yeah, I also thought of some great things that I can do with adding in people here, so I'm super excited. So either my next video or the one after that will be the finalized intro, not a test, and it's going to be epic. I figured out some tricks that'll make it go much faster than my first animation, which I can't wait to start. To sum things up, I pretty much just want you guys to know that I will be posting more frequently, though now I do have school to throw into this beautiful balance called my schedule, and school stuff always comes first, even if it kills me. So please be patient, I am working around the clock to do my best to 10 different things in life, and I'm not trying to slack. As you can see from this video, animating is not an easy process, but I'll get to that in a minute. Yep, those are the announcements. The finished animation is at the end. It's like a minute or so long, so if you're one of those people who skip to the end for the good stuff, just go already. But know that you're about to miss out on my amazing tips I got out of making this. What I'm showing you here are super sped up snapshots of my entire process, at 1,000 times speed, may I add. Ripped to my computer. The original plan was to show you the entire recording, but guess how that worked out. Turns out that the amount of time turned out to be over 300 hours. To be fair, I thought that this was going to take only 2 days, and it turned out to be over 2 months. No joke, I believe this from the bottom of my heart, and I am a seriously bad time optimist. But to my credit, I didn't give up 2 weeks in when I still had a long way to go. I just told myself, one more day, PickleyDucky, one more day. It's weird calling myself PickleyDucky, but I feel weird giving my real name, even if it is easier to say. You know what? Here's the deal. If I ever hit 1K subs, I will reveal my name. My first name, that is. I don't want anyone stalking me or anything. But I have a feeling that's never going to happen within the next 40 years, so I'm probably pretty safe. Anyway, I think my main struggle here was time, and having to record the whole stupid thing didn't help. A couple of times I spent 30 minutes animating, only to realize I had paused the recorder. I don't know if I speak for other animators, but at least for me, the most painful thing to have to do is to delete or lose a chunk of work like that. It's worse that I had to watch it all disappear as I spam Ctrl-Z or just exit out the whole window. On the bright side, I audiobooked my way through like 2 entire book series, all about dragons of course, so that made the whole thing actually really relaxing and enjoyable. You know, I'm gonna have to do a fantasy book recommendation video sometime, after I've gone through like 50 more series or so. I fall in love with every single book I read, so I'd have to wait a while to think clearly. Though of course, I also listen to hours of music, which is just as great. By the way, for people who aren't familiar with the Wings of Fire series, the yellow rainwing dragon is Kinkajou, and the green-black one is a nightwing named Moon. Best character. And the red one is a skywing named Carnelian. I like this scene because Moon's in it for one, and Kinkajou has such an energetic character that I thought it would make for a more interesting lip sync. Of course, the animation looks really choppy at the beginning, because I had to learn how to draw her over 1,000 times, and I had to get really familiar with how her character should look cartoonized. Moon was easy because she doesn't say a single word the whole time. Thank you. Carnelia's part looks best because I did her last, as you'll see here, and she doesn't move much, so I could do a really detailed shading job on some parts and then just paste her body and only have to animate her mouth. That's one of the tricks I'm learning now. The less movement, the better, as long as it looks smooth and they're in the right positions. Okay, so right now I'm creating the final backdrop, background, stage, whatever you want to call it. I pretty much just start out with the basic shapes of the room or area along with any objects that might be in it. Then I fill in the details and shade to my liking. The fire globes were tons of fun to do, and so was the scroll rack. But I'll just give you a basic overview of what I'm showing you from this entire video, just so you can get an inside view of my process. At the beginning you saw me do a super rough outline of the room and objects, just so I could know where to draw the characters and how they would interact with it. Then I made that terrible first sketch of Kinkajou, which I promptly deleted and started over again. You might have noticed that the early sketches were extremely rough, and that's because I often have to delete them completely if the movements or positions don't look right, and I don't want to waste too much time on them. So, I pretty much drew out what I call the animation's key points, like where she starts and stops moving, important positions she's in while talking, etc. The same goes for Moon as well. Then I did a more detailed, but still kind of choppy drawing over those in a new layer, and did an in-between frame between each frame already there, if that makes sense. That way I had double the frames to work with when going over with the final outline. Speaking of the final outline, that's exactly what I drew next over each frame from before. In a different layer, may I add. The final layer couldn't have loose or broken lines since it's the one I color in. After that was done, I did the same in-between frame thing where I doubled the number of frames a bunch of times until it was a smooth movement when played at 24 FPS, or frames per second. At that point, I had a smooth animation and had to record and alter my recorded voice to get Kinkajou's dialogue. I stuck that in its own column, because Opentoonz is epic and lets you do that, and I added in like a million more frames at a certain position and altered her mouth each time to match the words. It wasn't actually that hard because it turns out that the mouth only has like 4 set positions, like fish lips for the O, jaw hanging for ah, stretched out open mouth for E, tongue in front for the S, and then slight variations for a couple other sounds like R and N. After that, I got to color every single frame, one by one, and there were a lot of frames. Way over 1,000, I know that much. There's no way I'm going back and looking. I pretty much had to fill in each area with the correct color, kind of like those work pages you get in elementary school where you solve a math problem and color in all the sections with that number. Except I didn't have to do the math. Haha. After that, I had to shade each one as well, but I had to go through each single frame like 5 different times to shade a different body part. I will admit, though, that it is my favorite part, because I get to compare a shaded frame to a non-shaded frame, and am completely speckdazzled at how much better it looks, because speckdazzled is definitely a word. It never gets old, I swear. Also, note that I had to do this process twice, one for Moon and one for Kinkajou. But thank goodness Moon did not need lip sync. Thank you, Moon. Anyway, then I did the background that I was telling you about, and started a new animation for Carnelian. Because I couldn't just be done with that now, could I? Yeah, so I did the same process with Carnelian, as you'll see, but it was like 10 times faster because she doesn't move much, and it looks much better because I was getting used to drawing these characters and had more time to focus on detail. Now that you kind of know my process here a little bit better, if any of that made sense to you guys, I just want to let you guys know that I'm trying to get up a more steady stream of art to my new DeviantArt account, which I guess really isn't new anymore, but still only has a few mostly terrible drawings in it right now. I know the bulk of my subscribers, other than family of course, come from the skin decks and those animal skins I've made for Minecraft. And I won't be dropping that anytime soon. I'm just trying to give my 3 sites a little bit more of a balance, so that I'm not doing a ton for only one site on 1 month and forgetting the other 2. So, I love skin decks, don't get me wrong, and I really appreciate all the support I've gotten there, and it means the world to me. And I literally couldn't put it into words, and I'm getting off topic. But just don't worry if I don't make as many skins as normal. It's not going to be a huge difference, I don't think. I just have to balance school into the equation and all of that. So, just don't worry, and I just wanted to give you guys a heads up. So, I wouldn't worry too much. I'll always have something up on one of my sites rather frequently, and it won't be that big of a problem, I don't think. And, on a more cheerful and exciting note, I have a challenge for you guys. Probably something that only a Wings of Fire fan will manage, but the first person to comment the book and page number for this scene that I'm animating will get a shout out on my next video, unless it's the intro, then it will be the video after that. So, good luck, and please do it within like a week, otherwise this is invalidated. So yeah, you guys are awesome, and to the people who listen to this all the way through, your attention spans are like steel, maybe even longer than it took me to make this video. Thank you so much for watching this whole thing and listening to me ramble on about whatever pops into my head. Funny, it's almost as if I've been sitting in my room all day with art and audiobooks ruling my life. That couldn't be true. If you're curious to see where this channel goes, or maybe someday even see my cartoon actually happen, be a kind sir, lady, or maybe kangaroo if you live in Australia, and give this a big thumbs up on the screen. And maybe even warm my heart with a subscription, because it really does warm my heart. The ringly-dingly bell is fun to tap as well. Wow, that rhymes. I did enslave myself for a month to get this done after all. If you have any suggestions, concerns, praise, questions, whatever really, comment below so that I am not lonely here. I'll give you guys some nice peaceful music to listen to for this last little minute, and then you get to see the final animation. And now, my good and very patient buddies, for the moment you've all been waiting for, the completed animation.
Oh my gosh, sorry. I didn't even see you there. I guess that's a Nightwing skill. Hiding in the shadows, right? Haha. They put me in with a Nightwing? Hello? Isn't anyone worried about my potential post-traumatic stress? Isn't this exciting? I'm so excited I can hardly stand it. That's why I'm this color, by the way. I've been trying all morning to turn myself into something more dignified, and I can't do it. My skills are all like, yay, we're really here, and will not listen to me. I'm Kinkajou.
You're noisy.
I love this place. Library, art, friends. Have you explored yet? There's the most amazing library. Not that I can read yet, but oh my gosh, I'm working on it really hard. And an art cave. It's full of all of these colors of paint, like a couple of rainwings just emoted all over it. You guys, we should make amazing paintings and then decorate our cave with them. Wouldn't that be amazing?
I might literally die of joy.